Doublespeak.
The art of saying nothing and everything. Doublespeak is a sneaky way of using language. It twists words to hide the truth. Instead of being clear and direct, it uses fancy phrases and misleading terms. This deliberate obscurity often serves to deceive or manipulate the audience. We hear it from politicians, advertisers, and corporations. It's like a linguistic fog obscuring the truth. The answer is simple. Power. Doublespeak controls information and avoids accountability. It helps dodge tough questions and downplay negative events. It's also a reflection of our culture's discomfort with directness. Euphemisms, softening the blow of harsh realities. Euphemisms are mild words substituted for harsh ones. We use them in everyday conversation. For example, passed away instead of died, restroom instead of toilet, and let go instead of fired. Euphemisms can be polite and respectful. Using differently abled promotes inclusivity. But they can also downplay severity, like workforce reduction for layoffs, or collateral damage for civilian casualties. Euphemisms can twist the truth and undermine communication. Jargon, excluding the uninitiated. Jargon is specialized language used by people in a particular profession. It can be useful shorthand among experts. However, it can also exclude outsiders. This is problematic when the audience is unfamiliar with the terminology. For example, financial terms like derivatives and hedge funds. These terms can be confusing to the average person. In fields like finance, health, or law, this lack of transparency can have serious consequences. Jargon, when used excessively, becomes doublespeak. It creates a barrier that prevents clear communication. Gobbledygook, burying meaning in verbiage. Gobbledygook is perhaps the most blatant form of doublespeak. It is characterized by long, convoluted sentences, unnecessary jargon, and a general lack of clarity. The goal of gobbledygook is not to communicate, but to confuse, overwhelm, and ultimately to conceal meaning. It is like building a wall of words, where each brick is a meaningless syllable or a redundant phrase. The result is a linguistic labyrinth that leaves the audience disoriented and none the wiser. Bureaucracies are notorious for their use of gobbledygook. Official documents, reports, and speeches are often filled with this kind of language. For example, a government agency might describe a simple process like applying for a permit, using language so convoluted and jargon-filled that it becomes practically indecipherable to the average citizen. This deliberate obfuscation can be used to discourage scrutiny, evade accountability, or simply to create an illusion of complexity and importance. After all, if no one understands what you're saying, it's hard to hold you accountable for what you're doing. Inflated language. Making the mundane seem grand. Inflated language, also known as puffery, is another common form of doublespeak. It involves using unnecessarily grandiose language to make something sound more important, impressive, or desirable than it actually is. This tactic is often used in advertising and marketing to create a sense of excitement and allure around a product or service. For example, a car commercial might describe a new model as revolutionary, cutting edge, or engineered for excellence, even if it's just a minor update from the previous year. A fast food chain might boast about its handcrafted burgers made with farm-fresh ingredients, when in reality the food is mass-produced and of questionable quality. While inflated language may seem harmless on the surface, it can contribute to a culture of hype and superficiality. It normalizes exaggeration and undermines the value of clear, honest communication. When everything is amazing and unbelievable, nothing really is. Doublespeak in action, from politics to advertising. Doublespeak is pervasive in our society, infiltrating various domains and influencing our perception of reality. Politicians are notorious for their adept use of doublespeak, particularly during election campaigns or when addressing controversial issues.
For instance, a politician might use the phrase enhanced interrogation techniques instead of torture, or refer to a tax increase as revenue enhancement to make it more palatable to voters.
Corporations are also major practitioners of doublespeak, often using it to downplay negative news or to mislead consumers about their products or practices.
For example, a company responsible for an environmental disaster might call it an unforeseen incident or a temporary setback to minimize the damage to their reputation. Similarly, a tobacco company might promote light cigarettes as a healthier alternative, even though they are still harmful.
The media also plays a role in perpetuating doublespeak, often using euphemisms and inflated language to sensationalize stories or to avoid offending certain groups. For example, a news report might describe a violent riot as a civil disturbance or a peaceful protest that turned violent, downplaying the severity of the situation. The two sides of doublespeak: utility and deception. Doublespeak is not inherently bad. It can serve legitimate purposes such as promoting social harmony, protecting privacy, or facilitating communication in specialized fields.
For instance, using euphemisms in sensitive situations, such as when discussing death or illness, can help to show empathy and to avoid causing unnecessary distress. Similarly, jargon, when used appropriately among experts, can be a valuable tool for conveying complex information efficiently.
For example, doctors need to use medical terminology to communicate with each other accurately and effectively about diagnoses, treatments, and procedures. However, the line between legitimate uses of doublespeak and deceptive ones can be blurry. The same techniques that can be used to soften harsh realities or to facilitate communication can also be used to manipulate, mislead, and conceal the truth.
The key to understanding the difference lies in intent. When doublespeak is used to promote clarity, sensitivity, or efficiency, it can be a valuable tool. However, when it is used to deceive, manipulate, or obfuscate, it becomes a dangerous weapon.
The ethical dilemma of doublespeak. The use of doublespeak raises several ethical concerns. At its core, doublespeak is a form of deception. It involves using language to create a false impression or to mislead the audience.
This can have serious consequences, especially when it comes to matters of public importance, such as politics, healthcare, or finance. When politicians use doublespeak to downplay their failings or to exaggerate their accomplishments, it undermines the democratic process. When corporations use doublespeak to mislead consumers about their products or practices, it erodes public trust and can lead to harm.
Moreover, doublespeak can create a climate of cynicism and distrust. When people feel like they are constantly being bombarded with spin, euphemisms, and jargon, they become more likely to tune out altogether. This can make it difficult to have meaningful conversations about important issues and to hold those in power accountable.
The ethical dilemma of doublespeak lies in balancing the potential benefits of linguistic sensitivity and efficiency with the risks of deception and manipulation.
Recognizing and challenging doublespeak. Recognizing and challenging doublespeak is essential for preserving clear communication and holding those in power accountable. The first step is to be aware of the different forms that doublespeak can take, from euphemisms and jargon to gobbledygook and inflated language.
Pay attention to the language used by politicians, corporations, and the media. Ask yourself, are they being clear and direct, or are they using language to obfuscate, mislead, or manipulate? When you encounter doublespeak, don't be afraid to ask for clarification. Demand clear, honest language that respects your intelligence.
Educate yourself and others about the dangers of doublespeak. Share articles, discuss examples with friends and family, and encourage critical thinking about the language we use and consume. By promoting a culture of clear communication, we can help to create a more transparent and accountable society. In conclusion, the importance of clear and honest language. Language is a powerful tool. It can be used to inform, inspire, and connect us. But it can also be used to deceive, manipulate, and divide us. Doublespeak is a reminder that we must be vigilant about the language we use and consume. By being aware of the different forms of doublespeak, we can learn to recognize it when we see it and to challenge its deceptive power. By demanding clear, honest language from those in power, we can help to create a more transparent and accountable society. Ultimately, the best defense against doublespeak is a healthy dose of skepticism and a commitment to critical thinking. Don't be afraid to ask questions, to demand clarification, and to challenge the assumptions embedded in the language we encounter. Remember, clear communication is essential for a healthy democracy and a just society.